And now,
So,
story time with Ultimate 23 Dragon.
I am so using that in future videos.
So, spoiler alert, I will be doing a storytime video on the first NASCAR race under the new Bristol configuration after it was reconfigured in 2007. And one of my main arguments for that video is that Bristol did not get the butcherment treatment that Texas, Kentucky, and Atlanta did. But in the meantime, I have another reason to do a storytime video on this particular race first. Nowadays, Kentucky Speedway does not have the best reputation because of its butcherment from Great Racetrack to, hey, let's make this track suck for every racing series except the Cup Series. So, for multiple reasons this video will get into, including showing you just how good Kentucky Speedway was before its butcherment, here is my story of the 2008 Built Ford Tough 225. The race begins with Mike Skinner on the pole and Kyle Busch on the outside. Kyle Busch takes the lead quickly, and Johnny Benson challenges Mike Skinner immediately for second. Chad McCumbee slides up the track but saves it. After fending off his teammate, Mike Skinner challenges Kyle Busch for the lead as...
Enough room on the racetrack.
Look at this. Mike Skinner looking to the outside now as he's trying to take that top spot away from Kyle Busch. Caution for Shelby Howard, stopped in the middle of 3 and 4.
Hard contact with the left rear corner of that FarmPate.com truck. That's one of the Thor Sport Racing entries. Teammate to Matt Crafton in the 88. A lot of damage to the left rear corner.
Yeah, I don't think they'll have a hard time getting that even fixed. Good enough to get it on the trailer,
Yeah.
Phil.
Shelby Howard crashes in turns 3 and 4 with no replay showing how. Jack Sprague has an engine issue and pits under that caution. Somehow, as the restart was on lap 8, Jack Sprague had to return to pit road because a hood pin was left off, putting the hood back down. Okay. Anyway, Kyle Busch and Mike Skinner resumed their battle for the lead with Johnny Benson following them. Jack Sprague almost wrecks himself off the bumper of Chad Chaffin as he continues to lose time due to his engine issue. Meanwhile, Mike Skinner attempts to pass Kyle Busch for the lead, but Busch predicted this and moves up the track to stop Skinner. This allows Johnny Benson to once again challenge Mike Skinner for second as all three of them separate themselves from the field. While shifting focus from that battle to a battle between Justin Marks and Matt Crafton,
To the inside, problems coming out of turn number 2. Look at the smoke flying. This was in the middle of the pack. And we see a couple trucks, one of them being the 15 of Mark Mitchell, and the 17 also involved in this. That's Timothy Peters.
Timothy's able to get his truck going again.
No damage to that truck, it doesn't appear.
Doesn't
Phil.
look like he hit anything. There was a tremendous amount of smoke that a lot of the drivers had to negotiate their way through.
That's a scary feeling. That's when you really, I always rely on my spotter when smoke goes up like that, and I want him to tell me exactly what to do. I'm up here where the spotter's staying, and you can't tell him what to do. I mean, you can't see. That smoke is blinding.
So again, the 17 of Timothy Peters involved, as well as the 07 of Ryan Lawler.
And guess who's going to get the Aaron's lucky dog?
What's he got caught to him?
That's the part of the trunk.
Ryan Lawler spins for no reason, and behind that, Timothy Peters gets loose while noticing Lawler spin and spins himself out. Jack Sprague gets the lucky dog while still trying to fix what the team described as a carburetor issue. The restart was on lap 16. Kyle Busch and the two Bill Davis Racing teammates once again pull away from the field. Jack Sprague and Mark Mitchell end up splitting Donnie Leah in a 3-wide situation. Meanwhile, Johnny Benson once again challenges Mike Skinner for second as...
3 Toyota Tundras running in the top 3 of this field. Then it's a couple Chevrolets with Ron Hornaday and Matt Crafton 4th and 5th. And now another caution coming out. This time J.C. Stout has a blown engine.
Yeah, that was your spotlight driver right there, wasn't it, Mikey?
It certainly was. Just battling for wanting a top 20 finish, and she gives up the ghost on him.
J.C. Stout loses a motor, causing a caution to come out. Some pit stops occurred under this caution, causing a shuffle in the lineup order. The restart was on lap 25. A lot of drivers were battling for position in multi-wide situations. With Johnny Benson being one of the trucks that pitted under that last caution, Mike Skinner now battles Kyle Busch all by himself for the lead and eventually wins that battle. The blending of strategies of those who did not pit versus those who did started coming into play soon after. Meanwhile...
Here's another battle for the lead. It's Kyle Busch on the outside, taking the position back away from Mike Skinner. Will he be able to hold on to it when they come out of 4?
These guys have battled from the drop of the green flag. Skinner had the pole, Kyle had the outside. Kyle led early on.
Yeah, just 42-1,000 separated him that time, and it was Kyle Busch that was in front.
Kyle Busch passes Mike Skinner back for the lead. Skinner's truck wiggles in turn 2 the following lap, allowing Kyle to get away. Kyle eventually pulls away from Skinner. Meanwhile,
Really fast lap. This is another cat doing a great job. Mike Lynette, only 22 years old. He's been real impressive in the starts he's made and running solidly in the top 5 right now. Krista, what's he saying?
Well, Mikey, he's running really well because he's corn-fed, an Iowa boy. That's why we have to give him a shout-out. We also need to talk about the fact that he's watching his teammate, Mike Skinner. His crew chief, Doug Walcott, getting on the radio and said, watch Skinner. I don't know if your truck can do what his is doing, but just observe. You will learn so much.
keep note of this for later. Anyway, there was a lot of focus on the 2 different battles on the track for the next several minutes. One being Todd Bodine versus Jason White, and the other being Matt Crafton versus Johnny Benson. As Justin Marks catches Mike Skinner for second, green flag pit stops begin for those who did not pit under the previous caution, with Kyle Busch being the first to pit. As that happened, though...
So Kyle Busch relinquishing the lead to Mike Skinner, and Justin Marks now will move up to the second spot as Kyle Busch makes his way onto pit road.
It's going to be a good gauge here whether you can get back out without losing a lap, Krista.
Well, despite leading this race, Kyle and his team making a pretty big change. Not only wedge and air pressure, you're also going to see a track bar adjustment. 1, 2, 3 rounds on the track bar, 3 rounds down. A major adjustment for the 51.
Mike Skinner now continuing to lead, and he will just put down Kyle Busch a lap, and so Kyle Busch will have to come off of pit road. He's a lap down, but also Mike Skinner and Justin Marks, they also need to come. Oh, we've got problems with Chrissy Wallace, and that is a very difficult situation for the 51 of Kyle Busch, because now he has caught a lap down.
Again, with the Aaron's Lucky Dog, that's not going to be an issue for Kyle Busch.
It's a worse situation for Chrissy Wallace. That thing's tore up pretty good.
Yeah, right, really is.
4th caution of the night. This time it's Chrissy Wallace that brings out the yellow flag.
Chrissy Wallace and Jack Sprague collide, resulting in both of them wrecking. Sprague managed to continue while Chrissy's race ends here, with her unhappy. Pit stops commence, and the differing strategies result in another shuffle in the lineup and a new leader. That entire situation had caught Kyle Busch a lap down after his green flag pit stop, but he got the free pass. A red flag comes out as repairs to the safer barrier were made, as the impact of Christy Wallace's truck put the hole in it. A repair was made, I think, and the red flag was lifted. The restart was on lap 60 as Johnny Benson now leads. Kyle Busch is on the charge to get back to the front and battle Johnny for the lead. Like before, the top 3 get away from the rest of the field. That becomes the top 2 as Benson and Skinner get away from Eric Darnell. Todd Bodine has to make an unscheduled green flag pit stop for what was presumed to be a lug nut issue on the right front tire. But checking over the tire, nothing was found. As Kyle Busch's march to the front continues, a debris caution flew.
The race. Right now, he's battling for the 13th spot, and he's not making much ground. Tough going back there.
Been racing with Brendan Gaughan. Caution flag on the racetrack, Rick.
Once again, the caution comes out. This is the 5th caution of the night. This one, it's for debris on the racetrack. So Johnny Benson will slow the field down as he's out in front of Skinner, Darnell, Marks, and Crafton.
Great news for Todd Bodine. He is the highest placed non-lead lap truck, which means he will get the Aaron's Lucky Dog and get back in contention. And there's the reason for the caution flag.
That debris on the racetrack. I bet Todd Bodine was screaming.
Is
there
that
is
a donut?
Debris all over the racetrack.
Was that a donut on the racetrack?
It could have been. Cookie, donut.
A donut without a hole's a Danish.
Oh, what a quote.
Anyway, Todd Bodine gets the free pass. The restart was on lap 78. After a few laps...
We got some slow truck on the race. That's actually Ron Hornaday that has slowed. His teammate went by him, and here comes David Starr looking to go by him as well. Something must be wrong with this 33.
Yeah, something obviously wrong. Looks like Ron's going to make his way to pit road.
Slowing down very quickly as he makes the hard left turn onto pit road. Your point leader, Ron Hornaday, now on pit road, an unscheduled stop for this team.
Right side tires are up on that thing, Mikey.
He faded off turn 2 over there, so you wouldn't have. Krista, what are they saying?
Rick Wren on the radio saying, guys, we cannot take a chance. We have to take 4 tires. Alert, though, for a loose tire for the 33 as they came in. Rick Wren up on, they're going to make air pressure adjustment also, but it's 4 tire change for 33.
Well, it's amazing how many trucks have had trouble and had to rely on the Aaron's Lucky Dog. Kyle Busch for one, Topo and I for another one. Jack Sprague, and obviously it's not going to work out for him, I don't think, but Ron Hornaday is going to be another guy that's going to have to rely on an Aaron's Lucky Dog.
Ron Hornaday has a tire issue, later confirmed to have been a loose left rear tire, forcing him to pit under green. Johnny Benson tries to extend his lead over Mike Skinner. A lot of attention during this part of the race was focused on a battle between Michael Annett and Ted Musgrave, with Jack Sprague in the middle of it while being 2 laps down. David Starr passes both Musgrave and Sprague. Starr's march to the front continues as Randy Moss, yes, that Randy Moss, is given some TV time. More battles throughout the field are highlighted. Johnny Benson catches some trucks, putting them a lap down, ruining Ron Hornaday's bid to get the free pass should a caution come out. As Matt Crafton passes him for position, Justin Marks has an issue come up.
Look at Justin Marks. It looks like
maybe that's what happened to Justin.
that Romeo window.
Looks like a Romeo window. NASCAR officials will be looking at this very, very closely. More than likely, that will bring him into pit road for him to be able to take that off. And Adam, what are they saying down there on pit road?
Well, just wanted to confirm that you're exactly right, Phil. In fact, the crew starting to get ready for a pit stop. They would have likely been down pit road under green in the next 10 laps or so anyway, but they are making preparations to come down. Jason Overstreet, in an effort to keep his driver calm. Of course, Jason, being the crew chief for Justin Marks, said, stay where you are. We're going to get a caution soon anyway.
Jason Overstreet's prediction came true a few laps later.
Toward the front again, we are going to see all these trucks make their way back onto pit road for one more stop. And now the caution has come out. It's for debris. Could that be that Romeo window?
I think it absolutely could be that Romeo.
No,
it's still there. So great break for Justin Marks, and really a good break for everybody. Everyone's going to have to come down pit road. Ron Hornaday needed this caution flag. He's not going to get the Aaron's Lucky Dog, but he needed 2 caution flags to get an Aaron's Lucky Dog. After this restart, he will be in position possibly to get an Aaron's Lucky Dog to try to get back in contention, but he's going to lose so much track position if that happens that he is not a contender to win this race.
A debris caution for who knows what comes out. Having just been lapped by Johnny Benson, Jason White gets the free pass. A multitude of pit strategies during the pit stops result in another lineup shuffle. The result of this is both Michael Annett and Dennis Setzer taking the lead, moving Johnny Benson to third come the restart on lap 119. You will not believe what happens next.
Chad Chaffin with a jump on that restart. He was on the inside line. Michael Annett back to the bottom of the racetrack. Again, Chad Chaffin trying to stay out front to get a lap back, and they're 2 and 3 wide behind him.
Yeah, Ron Hornaday is trying to make his way up towards that front right now. Chad Chaffin is in line for the Lucky Dog. Ron Hornaday's trying to get there.
Look at this battle for the lead. They were 4
Johnny
wide.
Benson goes right by Michael Annett, takes that top spot, and we've got problems with Chad McCumbee. He gets into the wall. That brings out a caution, as well as the 9 of Justin Marks.
And I think Chad Chaffin, that 40, was ahead of Ron Hornaday when the caution came out. So that will keep Ron Hornaday 1 lap down, put Chad Chaffin back on the lead lap.
While multiple drivers were battling it out going 3 wide, Johnny Benson gets by both Michael Annett and Dennis Setzer, as well as the lap truck of Chad Chaffin to take the lead back by going 4 wide. Not even I could believe it. Meanwhile, right after that, Ted Musgrave bumps Kyle Busch going into turn 3, sending him into Chad McCumbee, making him wreck, resulting in Eric Darnell and Justin Marks having nowhere to go and getting crashed themselves. It was then revealed that Kyle Busch had a right rear tire going down. Whether that was a result of Musgrave bumping him or not is unknown. The restart that Speed Channel missed was on lap 128.
Benson holding off the hard-charging Michael Annett 4 wide when they came out of turn number 2 back in the field.
And guess what? It was Brendan Gaughan up there.
Problems with Todd Bodine and Brendan Gaughan. They were part of the 4 wide. They get the 6 caught up. That's Colin Brown also involved. And now a caution has come out once again. It's the 8th caution of the night.
We saw Brendan on the outside of a 4 wide situation. It may have been a deal where all those other drivers inside of him may not have known that he was out there. A lot of damage to that Conway Ford.
That got ugly coming off turn 2, and it took them all the way to turn 3 to have a crash.
4 wide.
Look at the damage on that Lumber Liquidators truck right there.
That truck is tore up bad.
Yeah, that right front is not supposed to be angled like that.
Okay. Top-9 self-cleared himself off John Wood, resulting in Wood colliding with Brendan Gaughan, and Bodine and Gaughan crashing each other and collecting Colin Braun. I distinctly remember laughing at this because one of my friends in the old racing group is a fan of both Bodine and Gaughan, and she was not happy. Would you believe me if I told you this isn't the only time I laughed at two of our guys wrecking each other? Anyway, the restart was on lap 132. All of the battles resumed on track as there were quite a lot going around. Willie Allen and Kyle Busch had a surprisingly good battle. Meanwhile, the top 3 gets away from the pack pattern continues as Johnny Benson, Michael Annett, and Matt Crafton get away from everyone else.
Right, that lap, 7 of the top 10 trucks have run their fastest lap within the last 2 laps of this race.
Chris Devoda.
Michael Annett having a great run. We talked about earlier in the race, his crew chief, Doug Walcott, was saying, just watch what your teammates are doing. He was talking about Mike Skinner. Now, Michael Annett following Johnny Benson. There you see Doug Walcott, a veteran crew chief in the Truck Series. Remember, he already has a win this year. He is the crew chief of the 22 when Scott Speed was driving that truck, winning at Dover. Can Walcott do it again with another young driver? Just the 3rd start this season in the series for Michael Annett. A young man who never even started racing until age 18. Before that, he played hockey, and he did so professionally in the United States Hockey League, the Waterloo Blackhawks, from hockey to horsepower, and he is certainly proving it tonight.
He is, and you can't give enough credit to Doug Walcott.
Oh, no.
He got a victory for Scott Speed by using strategy, and now he's got his man right up in the 2nd spot because he just mixed it up on pit road, did it a little bit different than the rest of the guys.
As Annett tries to chase down Benson for the win, more battles throughout the field thrilled the fans, including this one between Terry Cook and Kyle Busch, with Mark Mitchell and Ted Musgrave catching them as a result. But Musgrave trying to pass Mitchell coming to 10 to go gave Cook and Busch some breathing room. While noting how good of a race Bill Davis Racing was having, Musgrave was then caught by Stacey Compton and Ron Hornaday as they catch John Wood. Musgrave then loses positions to both of them. Compton and Hornaday then proceed to have their own little battle for 11th place, which Hornaday wins out on. As for the battle for the win...
Trying to get his 2nd one of the season. White flag out, 1 to go.
1 lap remaining, 1.5 miles for the 45-year-old out of Grand Rapids, Michigan.
Got a little bit of traffic he's going to have to negotiate, Rick. Last time he had to do that, he lost half of his lead. Makes it clearly past Eric Darnell. Eric goes really high up the track, giving the leaders plenty of room.
1/2 lap to go for JB.
Johnny Benson looking to find victory lane for the 2nd time in 2008. It will be his 1st win at Kentucky Speedway in just his 4th start at this racetrack. Johnny Benson will win at Kentucky.
Great run for Michael Annett. Matt Crafton continues to show that he's for real. Dennis Setzer with a top 5 run, and David Starr and Kyle Busch gets his way back up to the 6th position. Mike Skinner gets passed by Kyle Busch late.
He got passed by him at the line. They had a battle right down to the checker flag. Skinner on the apron, and Kyle Busch slipped by about a half a truck.
Now at our scoring monitor, I'm looking at this and seeing 7 Toyota Tundras in the top 9. That is impressive.
That's domination, and it's good to see Dennis Setzer and his Dodge get up there and mix it up with them boys too.
Chris DeVoe, I believe you've got a winning crew chief.
I do indeed. Trip Bruce, the winning crew chief of tonight's race. And you guys knew you were strong really all the whole race, but what a great night for your entire organization. You had young Michael Annett behind you. You guys were able to hold him off.
Yeah, that was exciting for all of us, all the guys. Everybody helps each other all weekend long back in the shop and everything. It's a good night for Toyota and Bill Davis Racing. Toyota certified used vehicles. Tundra was fast all weekend. I said it earlier. We just kind of backed up what we've been working on. So great job to Johnny Benson. He's smooth. He's really smooth. Pit crew, awesome. Been that way all year. It's just really fun.
You have cold water running down your back right now, don't you? All right, that's Trip Bruce, the winning crew chief, and you see the evidence behind him. He talks about how much this is a winning organization. You see the guys from Michael Annett's team come down to congratulate Johnny Benson's crew.
Johnny Benson manages to hold on despite the lap traffic on the last lap at the end and wins at Kentucky.
Johnny Benson had completed every lap at Kentucky, but had never led the last lap. And Johnny, I think the only person more soaked in victory lane right now than you is me. Your crew really did us in. But what was the difference tonight, your first win at Kentucky?
I tell you what, we sure did learn a lot from last year. What we did, we were really good in practice and just got really loose in the race. So I told Tripp, I says, this is a point where we went bad last year, so we quit practice. And got to really thank Toyota Certified Used Vehicles, Excite Batteries, just everybody involved, Mentex Brakes. God, there's so many of them, Bosch and Valvoline, everybody involved. It's just awesome. So, Safecraft seat belts kept me safe all day. Didn't have to use them, which is great. But Tripp Bruce is a man. He just really built a great truck, and it was tough. Got to thank TRD Toyota for great bodies they put on these, great horsepower. Dyson did a great job all the time, and it ran good, but it wasn't easy today, though. It may have looked easy, but it was she was a little slick out there today.
Well, you said about 8 to 10 teams still have a shot at this championship. With this win, have you guys surged ahead? Do you have an extra sense of momentum right now that other teams don't have?
Well, I think we've been good all year. We had our problems at Atlanta, which kind of hurt us. We had our problems at Martinsville. And, of course, last week, me over-revving the engine and breaking that. That was probably the huge hurt because that was preventable. The other ones may have not have been. So, apologize for the engine guys for that. But it's just week in and week out, Tripp gives me something that's capable of winning a race, or at least running in the top 5 for sure. And if we can see the front and get there, I'm fairly confident that if we work hard, we're able to get there. But they did great pit stops. We had to do a strategy a little early on because we had a loose right front tire, which I'm glad that caution come out. But these guys continue to do a great job. Bill and Gail, thank you very much and Toyota for giving me a great opportunity to have some fun. And do you want to talk at all? But I'm just going away here. It's just it's way cool for us, that's for sure.
That's all right. You deserve it. And Johnny Benson is once again the points leader by 1 point.
Okay. So you saw how good Kentucky Speedway used to be before it was butchered. And you saw my favorite driver pull off a 4-wide pass as to where 2 of the drivers one of my friends likes couldn't even get 3-wide done correctly, which was pretty funny. And yes, this is one of the many races that my favorite driver has won. But admittedly, none of that is the main reason I did this storytime video. This is.
I'll tell you what, Adam, very impressive run for Michael Annett here in the Pilot Travel Centers Toyota. And I'll tell you what, a 6th, an 11th, and a 2nd in your 3 races. You got to be awful excited about Craftsman Truck Series.
Yeah, I tell you what, just this equipment I'm in, and the guys that I'm surrounded with, like Doug Wolcott, he made a great call there tonight, and track position was everything. Got us out front, and JB got biased, and who better follow than your teammate, with all that experience. And our truck kind of came to life as soon as I got behind him, and after that, the double deuce it was running pretty fast.
Good truck tonight, and a good wheelman. Michael Annett finishes 2nd in Kentucky.
So, 2025 was a pretty rough year in more ways than one. Being an empath who's also a Johnny Benson fan was actually harsh because 5 people who were connected to Johnny's racing career had passed away that year. His Busch Series championship owner, his championship rival in ASA, his Busch Series championship crew chief, his Truck Series championship truck owner, and one of his Truck Series teammates. Everyone in that group were in their 60s or 70s, except one. To say that the news that we lost Michael Annett at the age of 39 had stunned everyone was the understatement of the year. The other 4 that were connected to Johnny's past that were lost in 2025 was bad enough. But this one was just pure sad. This race was the best result Michael Annett had in the Truck Series in 9 total starts. In addition, Bill Davis had also passed almost 3 months to the day prior to Michael's untimely passing. And this race was one of, if not the, best races he ever had as an owner, with all 3 of his drivers finishing 1st, 2nd, and 7th. I already did a storytime video on the 2008 Ford 200 where he got his championship with Johnny. So a storytime video about Michael Annett's best Truck Series finish, and one of Bill Davis's best races as an owner, feels most appropriate here as a double tribute. Sure, Johnny Benson won the race, and that's always awesome. But he's not the reason I did this particular storytime video. Believe me, this was a very fun race to review. It wasn't just my driver winning. The Bodine Gone collision and wreck and laughing at it because of how angry I made one of my friends was great to relive. And it showed just how great Kentucky Speedway used to be. I hope it does return to what it once was, and that'll be usable for all racing series once again. This race was fun to review and do a story time on. Although I wish the reason I ended up doing one was very different.
Can you say subscribe to Ultimate 23 Dragons YouTube channel?
I ain't gonna remember all that.
Just subscribe to Ultimate 23 Dragons YouTube channel.
Ultimate
23 Dragon.
Ultimate 23 Dragon?
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, please subscribe to Ultra Dragon 23 something.